Hey all, today I'm going to talk briefly about The Testament of Ann Lee. This is a brand new film coming out from Searchlight Pictures later in the year, possibly early next year. There's no confirmed date as far as I know. But I had a chance to go see it, and it is a historical musical about this religious act named The Shakers that was founded by Ann Lee, who later in the film goes by Mother Ann Lee. It is a tragic story in quite a few ways, but I won't dive into the religious aspect too much because that's not really my field. However, I am going to get into if this is a satisfying film and if it lives up to its genre. So this is a historical musical. That is how it is labeled. As a musical, this is severely underwhelming from start to finish. The songs are incredibly hard to comprehend. It is a lot of murmuring, a lot of just whispering, talking, and they are American actors in the leads here, Amanda Seyfried and Lewis Pullman. And unfortunately, them being American accents, meshing with British accent, doesn't really work when it comes to these songs. I think the people with legitimate accents definitely come through a little bit more, but still hard to understand. I think a lot of the emotional depth probably comes through the songs because I didn't really get much of it through the dialogue or the environments. But that is the huge fault of this film, is that it does not live up to the genre of a musical. I think that the history of Shakers was very interesting from start to finish. It definitely felt engrossed in Anne's story and her brother William's story and how they are attempting to get followers for their movement. I really liked that aspect of it. However, as a musical, there is a lot of music in this film. And with that being the case, it is dragging. This is 2 hours and 17 minutes. It goes on and on and on. It could have been severely cut down. I think that they could have either trimmed it or really upped the music. I think that as a musical that has songs that are like this, it desperately needs subtitles. That's not at fault of, the studio or the way that I viewed it. But I do think that if you're going to watch this, it is probably more enjoyable and you're going to get more out of it if you wait for a time where subtitles are available. I think Amanda Seyfried and Lewis Pullman and Thomasin McKenzie are all terrific in their roles. I think when they are speaking dialogue, I think they are fantastic. I think their voices are terrific. And I think that when it comes to the way everything sounds, it's just fantastic. It's just the way that it's delivered as far as me understanding what's going on. That is the biggest fault of this film. And I've said that, 3-4 times now. But it really, if you're calling this a musical, I need it to be music heavy and music that I can understand, comprehend, and really feel. So going into the director, it's Mona Fastvold. I'm not overly familiar with their filmography. However, they did produce The Brutalist, which The Brutalist was one of my favorite films of last year. It's probably my top 10 of last year. It's not my favorite, but I loved it. And the director of that film, Brady Corbett, is the writer of this film. So you do get kind of like a sense of, the same kind of tone translating over. The Brutalist was filmed in 35 millimeter. This one was also filmed in 35 millimeter. So you get this really great, visually stunning film that is very good visually. And from a visual storytelling, it really works. And it's very aware of its bleakness and the bleakness of its subject matter. So I think from a visual standpoint, it works so well. But then from the musical aspects, it just flops so hard. So it's a very uneven picture. I think that the story that they're trying to tell here is very interesting. But I just think overall, the way they delivered it, the way they executed, just does not work. And if you're going to watch this, if you're a big musical lover, I think that you should wait for it to have subtitles. That's 100%. If you're a history, fanatic, maybe go check it out. But once again, I think that the subtitles will significantly help your experience. And then lastly, I think that if you're a fan of Amanda Seyfried, Lewis Pullman, or Thomasin McKenzie, I think you're going to have a decent time here because their performances really do stand out. But I think above all, this is a visual piece of filmmaking. And unfortunately, beyond that, it really is a major letdown. So that is my brief, quick review of The Testament of Anne Lee. Let me know if this is something you're aware of, if you're a fan of musicals, if you're a history buff, and if it's something that you're looking forward to checking out, or if it's just completely off your radar, don't want to check it out. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next video.